Hey everyone, my name is Brennan. I hope your day's been going good, and ever since I woke up this morning, I've had a new motto in life: make a quick buck and cheap the f*** out. That's why I've decided to have a yard sale, since I could always use the extra money. In fact, it wasn't that long ago that I actually sold it. That's right, this yard is officially sold. Newer, wealthier Scrooge Brennan speaking.
That's not what a yard sale is, dipshit.
I am yardless. Well, if I'm gonna lose over half of my property, I might as well spend the money I made from it on something nice. I had to commission someone to make this ad, so I better get something out of this. They paid me in dryer sheets and beans. So, when someone doesn't have that much money to spend, or they just need to scratch that shopping itch without blowing their entire retirement fund on a trip to Kohl's, what exactly are you able to spend it on? Well, the junk nobody else wanted, of course. Oh, hell yeah! I'm sure at some point everyone's rummaged through their stuff and thought to themselves, man, I own a lot of shit. Enter garage sales. People who wanted to get rid of a bunch of their old stuff that they didn't want anymore and setting it up on tables in their garages and driveways. And since these people don't want their stuff, that usually means that it's cheap as hell because they want it out of their house probably just as badly as they want money for it. Well, I mean, you're usually supposed to sell this stuff for cheap, which is why I'll never understand why there are people selling their old junk for ridiculous prices. It's an antique! Like, at that point, just bring your stuff to an actual store that'll take it or sell it online. If you want to make a decent amount off of your stuff, then you're gonna have to put in a bit more effort than lawn chairs and fold-up tables. Whether it's expensive or not, though, you can usually find a lot of different stuff at garage sales. Clothes, knickknacks, furniture, toys. But the holy grail of garage sale finds, at least for me, are video games. Now, the majority of games that you find at garage sales are usually just your common shovelware sports games, but even though these aren't usually the most exciting games to find at garage sales, well, I mean, unless you're really into those kind of games. Holy sh**, these f***ers got Madden? They're still a pleasant sight. The fact that there are any games there at all might mean that there are better games lying around the rest of the sale. Plus, just seeing older used games like this are just kinda neat to me. Even if it is just cheaper, more common titles there, for collectors, it's a really nice way to bulk up your collection without blowing an entire mortgage's worth in GameCube games. The hell is a house payment? I need Top Gun! All of this doesn't just apply to garage sales though. Oh no. I'd say that places like antique stores also fall into the category of garage sale gaming. People come here and sell their junk all the time for ridiculously cheap. Most of the time. This obviously includes video games. Unlike garage sales though, you don't have to briefly skim through them and see if you spot any games. Instead, you have to scour through an entire store. Finding games at stores like these can be leagues harder than finding them at a garage sale, but that just makes it all the sweeter when you actually do find something, even if it's not that great of a game. Like, you think I'm gonna search high and low through the store just to not buy a copy of NCAA Football 2003? Because you'd be right, I'm not. Instead, I'm going to buy the used GameStop copy of Skate. I have standards for games, I swear. Don't you trust me? What better way to show you the kinds of games you can get at places like this than actually going out to a garage sale and getting some right now? It's time to cheap the f*** out. Yep, forgot about them. Well, since I'm still confined to my gamer chamber, let's instead just go through some of the stuff I was able to get the last time I went to a garage sale. Alright, so the last time I went out to a garage sale, I was actually able to get quite a few things. First up, sneakers, bitch. Where the hell are my fresh kicks? I can't wear this shit! The place I went to had a box filled with an original NES, its cables, and a controller, all for only $5. Granted, the box was labeled saying it was unknown whether it was in working condition or not, so let's go test it out and see. Okay, so I found out that the problem had to do with the console's ability to read the games themselves, so after a couple hours dismantling the system and cleaning the different parts, I think I've gotten it to work. Almost. I love Tom and Jerry. Honestly, if I were to spend another couple hours on this, I'm sure I'd be able to get it to work, but for the sake of moving things along, I'll just go through everything else I was able to get instead. The box also came with a game as well. I think someone ran out of spoons and used it to stir their coffee. It's apparently also worth $20 despite the box as a whole only costing $5. Like, imagine stirring your coffee with a $20 bill. I'm not doing that. Next thing I bought at the same place was a disc filled with PlayStation 1 and 2 games, with the case and games as a whole only costing $5. Alright, first game we got here is Cyber Tiger. Cause you can't have a PS1 without Cyber Tiger. Next is a copy of Madden 04. Oh, Madden, hell yeah! After that's a copy of Madden 03. Oh, Madden, hell yeah! Then we got a copy of Dark Summit. Yeah, sure looks that way. Up next is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Okay, this one's actually pretty cool. I've been meaning to play the Crash games for a while now, so when I saw this in the case at the sale, I saw it as my chance to finally get into the series. I'm excited to try it, they've always looked super fun. The last game that they had in the case was Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. According to this price charting website, it's worth $36 on average, and I somehow got it for less than $1. What? Okay, that aside, just like Crash, I've never played a Resident Evil game. So what better way to get into the series than the third one I bought at a garage sale? I was also able to get a couple of PS2 controllers, one of which barely works, but I'm not complaining since they're both only $1. I'm just happy that I can finally stop using the third-party controller that I got back when I bought my PS2. The last of the stuff that I got from the sale was a copy of Tiger Woods PGA Tour 10 and, say it with me now, oh, Madden, hell yeah! So, 9 games, 2 controllers, a disc case, a semi-functioning NES, cables and controller included, and Popeye with a stain, all for only $15. Yeah, we get it. You were able to get a bunch of games without paying that much for them. You just trying to show off how much stuff you got for cheap or something? Nope, nope, doesn't sound like something I would do. Oh, would too. Nuh-uh. Joking aside, that's obviously not why I wanted to show all that stuff. Like I said before, the real reason I wanted to go through everything I bought and how much it cost was because I wanted to show how cheaply you're able to find games at places like these. You don't need to spend all that much sometimes in order to get some pretty decent games. Using the loose averages from this price charting website, I found out that, on average, all this would usually cost around $170. Even if some of these averages are off by a bit and only taking it from online sales, it's obvious that I was still able to save a ton from all of this. The only real downside buying from places like these is that since the products are used, they can sometimes be gross as hell. Like, cleaning all this off, I probably went through nearly a whole container of Clorox wipes. They were disgusting. There was a ton of black residue on there. Like, did you shove the whole wire up your ass? How did it get that way? Despite that though, I'd say it's still worth it in the long run, just based on how much money you could be saving. Also, I know there are probably some people thinking that I'm an ass and just scam these people out of their money, but think of it this way. When you decide to sell your stuff for this cheap at a garage sale, it's obvious that you didn't care to do the research on how much they're actually worth. It's kind of on you to realize whether you should be selling these here or online, but that's also another thing. Selling it at a garage sale is a lot more convenient than setting up an online sale, so just like with trading it in somewhere like GameStop, you can't really be expecting that much in return. Also, the whole aforementioned ass wire showed me that the previous owner never cared about keeping them in decent condition to begin with, and thus probably didn't care what they were getting in return for them. So, no, I don't really feel bad buying this all for $15. So, the concept of garage sale gaming. I'm sure a lot of us have all gone out to garage sales at some point looking for games, and even found a few, but it wasn't until recently that I realized that you can find some really cool old games at places like these. Now, you obviously can't go to places like garage sales and larger places like antique stores and expect to find amazing video games, and sometimes games at all. When it comes to regularly buying games, I definitely still think that going to game stores, especially local or small business game stores, are the way to go. But if you have some time to kill one morning, you're looking for something to do or games to buy, and you have one of these places near you, it can't hurt to go and check. You might be able to find something pretty nice. But if there's 2 things that you should take away from everything that I've been saying today, it's this. 1, never confuse the meaning of a yard sale, because then you might end up selling your yard to someone who can now legally stand in it and watch you through your windows. And 2, at garage sales, Madden will always reign supreme.